This fella here, well, his name is Tyler Meredith. He's a long-time Liberal partisan. In fact, he's the senior policy advisor to the Federal Liberal Caucus and the ex-advisor for economic and social policy for Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. So if we think about it, if the Liberals have had a dumb or really bizarre idea or policy plan, it either came directly from this guy's brain or it passed through his brain like a fish tank filter at some point. And in an attempt to shut up some pesky Westerners like me who are sick and tired of the abuse and mistreatment we're taking from the federal government, a federal government that blocks pipelines, wants to transition away from fossil fuels, you know, the West's best industry, scapegoats law-abiding gun owners, and also takes far more than it gives us. Meredith sent numerical evidence of Prince Trudeau's benevolence towards the serfs west of Winnipeg. He tweeted, "The neat thing about the public accounts of Canada, they're irrefutable facts. Western economic diversification." That's the corporate welfare arm of the feds for Western Canada, by the way. Total funds used 2014-2015 by Harper, $162 million. 2017-2018 Trudeau, $227.1 million, a 40% increase under Trudeau. And in budget 2018, even more added. You got that, people? Shut up, Westerners, about your jobs. Shut up about your business insolvencies and your out-of-control suicide rates. Just be grateful for what we're giving you. Meredith is a Liberal Party operative, a Liberal Party employee, so I'm sure he knows that the Liberal government ran a $16.6 billion shortfall in 2017, the year he's bragging about Trudeau out-subsidizing Harper in the West. Am I supposed to be happy Trudeau's giving corporate welfare to companies so that I have to pay it back eventually, or rather my kids have to pay it back some way? And hang on here for a second. I'm sorry, but when did we Westerners ever ask for a handout? We only ever asked for the feds to get out of the way of what we're trying to do here. But we'll have to excuse Meredith because as an Eastern-based Liberal, he's not used to the way we do things out here. Looks to me like the senior policy advisor to the Federal Liberal Caucus has mistaken us out here in Alberta and in the West for, I don't know, Bombardier. Actually, if we were Bombardier, in the same year that Tyler Meredith is bragging about the Trudeau government dispersing $227 million, the government very clearly doesn't have in the first place, through Western economic diversification, the Liberals were giving $150 million more than that to prop up Bombardier. Just look at this, from 2017 in the CBC of all places. The federal government says it will provide $372.5 million in interest-free loans to Bombardier, a move that elicited criticism even though it is far less than the transportation giant originally sought more than a year ago. Oh yeah, I suppose the Liberals would also want us to be grateful for this handout because it's apparently far less than the $1 billion Bombardier was originally begging the government for in the first place. But this gift to Bombardier, it isn't standalone, again from the same CBC article about that perennial welfare queen, aircraft peddler. Last year, Bombardier received a $1 billion U.S. investment for the C-Series passenger jet program from the Quebec government in exchange for a 49.5% stake. A $1 billion U.S. investment from the Quebec government? I wonder where Quebec got that kind of cash from. Maybe it's from the $13 billion in equalization payments Quebec will get this year alone. I mean, with $13 billion extra dollars in equalization payments and a balanced budget on the backs of all that extra cash, surely Quebec could have afforded the $1.3 billion the federal government has just committed to a Montreal subway project. According to Statistics Canada in 2016, right in the middle of Alberta's oil industry getting just absolutely hammered by a confluence of NDP and Liberal policies, causing a capital evacuation and a pipeline bottleneck, Albertans sent $48 billion worth of taxes to Ottawa, but only received $27.2 billion back in the form of federal spending. This is a gap of $21 billion. And 2017 wasn't any better. We couldn't get a pipeline approved if our lives depended on it, and, you know, they really do. And yet Albertans sent $50.3 billion to the federal government and received back about $28.5 billion, amounting to a spending inequity of nearly $22 billion bucks. So yeah, thanks for that $227 million worth of our own money dished out to us again, Tyler Meredith, after being cycled through the hands of 1,000 bureaucrats.
That's an excerpt from the Ezra Levant show. Every day I do a video monologue and then I interview an interesting guest, and then I end by reading my hate mail. But you've got to subscribe to it, which you can do at therebel.media/shows.